$126,000.
Wow.
That number has been sitting heavy in my mind since I read this guide. It's the average amount a small business loses every year.
Just gone.
Simply because nobody picks up the phone, it rings, it goes to voicemail, and that money just, vanishes into thin air.
It's painful to even think about. It's literally cash ringing on a desk and then disappearing.
And that really brings us to today. It is January 18th, 2026. And if you've been paying attention, the whole atmosphere in tech just feels different.
Yeah, the speculative AI gold rush of 2023, 2024, that's officially over.
Oh, that chaos. Do you remember you couldn't open any social media without someone trying to sell you a master prompt cheat sheet for $20?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Feels like a lifetime ago. Thank goodness that noise has finally died down. We've moved into what this guide's author, Max Ann, calls the infrastructure economy.
Right. And today we're deep diving into 9 proven AI business models for 2026. But we're not just listing ideas. We're unpacking this concept called service arbitrage. We're looking at how the market's shifted from selling the novelty of AI to actually solving these high-value, kind of boring business problems.
And that distinction is everything. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of specific models, from website flipping all the way to voice architecture.
These are just theories.
No, these are generating 7 figures right now because they focus on results, not on hype.
So let's set the stage. The big shift is from hype to implementation. Companies, they have the tools, they have ChatGPT, they've got the models.
They've got the new fancy oven.
But they lack the workflows. Max Ann argues that the winner in 2026 isn't the coder, it's the orchestrator.
Yeah, think of it like a kitchen. 2 years ago, everyone was just excited they bought a new oven. That was the hype. Now in 2026, they're looking around going, okay, we have the oven. Where's the dinner?
Right.
The orchestrator is the chef who actually cooks the meal. The value isn't in owning the tool. It's bridging that gap between we have AI and our lead response time is now 30 seconds.
It's a fascinating shift. It sort of implies the real opportunity here isn't in building the next big AI model, is it?
No, the money is in bridging the gap for implementation.
Okay, let's get into the first model then, the website flipper. On the surface, this feels almost retro.
It does.
People have been selling websites since the 90s, but the mechanics are totally different now.
It's retro, but on steroids. The premise is simple. Most local business websites, dentists, lawyers, you name it, they're still stuck in 2015. They're slow, they look clunky.
And they're losing customers.
Exactly. The Flipper model is about rebuilding these sites in 24 hours.
Okay, hold on. 24 hours? That sounds like you're just churning out templates. How is that possible without sacrificing the quality?
That's the magic of the 2026 stack. You aren't hand coding anymore. The bottleneck has shifted from coding to taste.
Taste.
Yeah, you're using ChatGPT or Claude to write clean, conversion-focused copy. For the UI, you're using tools like vo0.dev or Lovable. You literally just describe what you want, and it renders it.
And you use Reloom for the layout. So you're acting more like a creative director than a developer. You're curating the output.
Exactly. You show the business owner a before and after, and that visual usually closes the deal on the spot. And the economics are just wild. You're charging $3,000 to $8,000.
For one day of work.
And your profit margin is sitting around 85% because your tool cost is maybe $100 a month.
I have to play devil's advocate here, though. If these tools are so easy to use, why would a business pay me $8,000? Why doesn't the dentist just get his nephew to do it for free?
That's where the upgrade strategy comes in. You don't just sell a pretty site. You use AI to audit their competitors first.
Oh.
You come in saying, hey, your competitor down the street loads 3 seconds faster and has a better booking flow. Here's how we beat them. And that changes it from a design gig into a business performance upgrade.
So why do businesses pay $8,000 for a one-day job?
They pay for the immediate transformation and sales conversion, not hours worked.
That focus on efficiency is a perfect lead-in to the next model. Because if small businesses are ignoring their websites, mid-sized companies are doing something even worse.
Oh, yeah. They're hoarding software they don't even use. This is where the auditor comes in.
This is the hangover from the AI boom.
Totally. Think back to 2024. Companies were in a panic. They subscribed to everything. Jasper, Copy.ai, Notion AI, Enterprise ChatGPT. Now it's 2026. And they're bleeding money on subscriptions nobody uses.
It's subscription fatigue hitting the P&L.
It is. The auditor's job is simple, but it's super lucrative. You go into a mid-market company, say 100 to 500 employees, and you act like a forensic accountant for their tech stack.
You're just asking, what are you paying for? What's helping? What's being ignored?
Pretty much.
And why mid-market specifically?
Because they're big enough to have serious waste, probably 5 figures a month, but they're small enough that you can actually get a decision maker on the phone.
Right. If you try to audit Microsoft, you'll die in bureaucracy.
And if you audit a coffee shop, they don't have enough software for it to even matter.
That makes a lot of sense. But is the business model just selling a PDF report? That feels kind of limited.
The report is just the foot in the door. You charge $2,000 to $5,000 for that audit, but the real money is in the implementation, actually cleaning up the stack, standardizing the workflows.
And that's a bigger project.
That's a $10,000 to $25,000 project.
So what's the biggest mistake auditors make when they're pitching this?
Getting too technical. Clients only care about time and money saved.
Let's pivot from saving money to making it. Marketing. This next model, the viral vendor, it tackles the content beast.
This is for anyone who loves video but just hates the logistics of it. Brands need content all the time. Ads, demos, TikToks. But traditional production is so slow.
And expensive. A traditional shoot can run $90,000. Easy.
Oh, easily. The viral vendor uses AI to produce studio-quality video without a studio. You're using Heijin for avatars that look, indistinguishable from real people. You use Runway or Pika for B-roll. 11 Labs for the voice.
See, this is exactly what Maxanne meant by being the orchestrator. You're not a cameraman. You're conducting the AI avatars.
And the value proposition isn't just cost, it's speed. Instead of betting 50 grand on one big commercial and just praying it works,
You give them options.
you give the brand 5 variations, different hooks, different avatars, different scripts. They can test what actually works with their audience.
It let them A/B test their creative in a way that was just financially impossible before. I think the guide mentioned one team made 30 video ads in a month.
Yeah, the traditional cost would have been, 90 grand? They did it for 12,000 in cost and just pocketed the difference.
So is this just about being cheaper than a traditional studio?
It's about volume, allowing brands to experiment with creative hooks.
Now, if we look at the operational side of things, we land on the agency, full-service automation. This feels like the bread and butter of the industry.
It's the classic play, for sure, but it's also the most crowded.
So you find businesses drowning in boring work data entry, lead follow-up, sorting support tickets, and you make it disappear.
Exactly. You're acting as the plumber connecting all their different pipes.
And for those listening who hear plumbing, what are we really talking about? What are the tools?
We're talking about tools like N8N or Make. You can think of them as these visual flow charts that let different software programs talk to each other without you having to write any code. You're basically building the company's nervous system.
The guide warns that this is super competitive now, though. You're just another vendor. If I launch an automation agency today, am I just fighting a race to the bottom on price?
If you stay generic, yes, absolutely. To win now, you have to niche down. You can't just be the automation guy.
You have to be more specific.
You have to be the automation expert for dental practices in the Pacific Northwest. You need to deliver results that are just objectively better because you understand their specific weird software.
But here's the tricky part with automation. Once you build it, it just works, right? So how do you keep clients if you automate everything?
Maintenance retainers, they fear the system breaking without you.
Speaking of automation, this next model feels like we're stepping into science fiction. The digital twin.
This one is wild. The concept is cloning a founder or an executive so they can be literally everywhere at once.
Let's just pause on that for a second. I want to really imagine this. You have a founder. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah spends maybe 20 hours a week just explaining her product on Zoom.
Right. It's grueling, repetitive work.
With this model, you clone Sarah, and now she could be delivering 100 personalized sales pitches. Simultaneously, in her own voice, with her own face, while the real Sarah is asleep or, actually working on her product strategy.
Whoa. Yeah, when you put it like that, the scale of it really hits you. It is the ultimate leverage of your time.
How does it work?
You record them once for about 30 minutes. You upload that footage to a tool like Heijin or Synthesia, and then suddenly, Sarah is scalable.
And the pricing model on that?
The setup fees are usually $3,000 to $10,000, but the recurring revenue is the real kicker. You charge for the generation fees every month. So the more they use the avatar, the more you make.
So who is the ideal customer for this?
Founders stuck on Zoom calls all day, needing their time back.
But not everyone is ready to be cloned. Some companies just need their actual humans to get smarter. That brings us to the corporate AI trainer.
This is all about the massive skills gap we're seeing. Companies spent billions on software, but their employees are still just typing, please write an email into ChatGPT.
It's like they bought a Ferrari and they're just driving it in first gear.
Exactly. As a corporate AI trainer, you aren't just showing them the tool, you're teaching specific workflows. Here's how you use AI for market research. Here's how you automate your weekly reporting.
But again, with all the free stuff on YouTube, why don't they just watch tutorials? Why pay a consultant $3,000 to $8,000 for a workshop?
They need tailored, industry-specific workflows applied to their actual jobs.
Now, what if you don't want to deal with clients or corporations? What if you just want to do the work yourself? That's where the arbitrager comes in.
This is basically high-end freelancing on platforms like Upwork or Contra. But the strategy is different. You take on premium work copywriting, market research, content strategy, and you use AI to do 80% of the heavy lifting.
So you're essentially a project manager for an AI workforce.
In a way, yeah. The AI does the grunt work, gathers the data, drafts the copy, processes the numbers. You, the human, you do the strategic 20%. You add the nuance, the voice, the judgment.
Does using AI make you less skilled then?
No, you need skills to judge quality. AI just provides speed.
Let's circle all the way back to that opening number, that $126,000 lost to missed calls. The solution there is the voice architect.
This is the painkiller solution. This is for any business that dies by the phone.
Yeah.
Dentists, plumbers, real estate agents, if they miss a call, they lose a customer. Period.
And you're building the system that catches those calls using tools like Vapi or Retell.
Right. It answers 24/7, it books appointments, it qualifies leads, and it sounds human. The ROI is instant. If a plumber saves one $20,000 job because the AI picked up at 8 p.m. on a Friday...
The system just paid for itself for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
So why is this particular model so sticky?
Immediate revenue recovery makes it impossible to turn off.
Finally, you've got the rebel of the bunch. The sauce killer.
I love this one. Companies are just sick of paying for bloated software like Salesforce or Tableau.
When you say bloated, what do you mean by that?
It's like buying a commercial airliner when all you need is a bicycle to get to the grocery store. They're expensive, they're complex, and you only end up using 10% of the features.
So the sauce killer builds them a custom bicycle.
Exactly. You use no-code tools to build a CRM that fits their workflow perfectly. It costs them, say, $15,000 to $50,000 up front, but it saves them hundreds of thousands in licensing fees over a few years.
But why would a company switch from a huge name like Salesforce?
Sauce fatigue. Companies want simple tools that fit their actual workflow.
We've covered 9 incredibly distinct models here, but there's a section in the guide called The Uncomfortable Truth, and I think we need to talk about it.
Yeah, we have to keep it real. There's this narrative out there that AI makes business easy.
It doesn't.
Not at all. The guide specifically says this is not passive income.
Right.
And I mean, I have to admit, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. You know, you build this perfect workflow and then the model updates and suddenly your output is just a little off.
So it's constant maintenance.
It is. The guide mentions your first website build will probably take 3 times longer than you planned. You're gonna mess up.
And the costs aren't zero. We talked about high margins, but the stack bill is a real thing.
Oh, yeah. ChatGPT Plus, HeyGen, Vapi, Make. You can easily hit $500 a month in tool costs before you even land your first client.
You have to treat it like a real business with real overhead.
Exactly. It all comes down to one thing. The tools are available to everyone. OpenAI, Google, they've democratized the power, but they didn't democratize the discipline.
So what is the only real edge in 2026?
Execution and discipline. The tools are democratized, but effort isn't.
Okay, let's unpack this and recap the big idea. The market has matured. We're done with the speculation phase.
We are. The opportunity now is service arbitrage. It doesn't really matter if you're flipping websites, cloning founders, or catching missed calls. The mechanism is the same.
You're solving a boring, expensive business problem faster and cheaper than the old way of doing things.
Exactly. And the shift in identity is crucial. You aren't just a tech guy or a coder anymore.
No, you're an orchestrator.
You're the conductor. You choose the instruments, the different AI tools, and you make them play a symphony that businesses are willing to pay for.
It's a powerful place to be. But as we wrap up, I do want to leave you with a final thought. We've given you the map. We've shown you 9 different paths. But, well, maps don't move feet.
That's right. Stop watching, start building. The barrier to entry has never been lower, but the barrier to excellence, that's as high as it's ever been.
So pick one lane.
Just one, and master it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for diving in with us today.
Always a pleasure.